Pros Tip, brought to you by the Florida Keys and Key Largo. A world away, come as you are.
Hi, and welcome to this episode's Pros Tip. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about sea anchors. Really an important tool when you're live bait fishing, regardless if you're tournament fishing or just out for a weekend of fun. It's really an essential tool when you're fishing live baits, when you're kite fishing, and there's a couple of key reasons why we use these sea anchors. Some guys call them parachutes, drift socks. I like to call it a sea anchor. Number one, make sure you use the appropriate size sea anchor for your size boat. Obviously, the larger boat is going to require a larger sea anchor, upwards of 15 feet or more. So the right size is very important. Number two, how that sea anchor is fastened to your boat is also crucial. Sea anchors, really put a tremendous amount of stress on the cleat as that boat is rocking, especially when it's rough. So you want to make sure that that line that's connecting that sea anchor to the boat is strong enough to withstand those stresses. Also make sure that your cleat is capable of withstanding those stresses. Make sure you have enough scope, enough line between that sea anchor and your cleat. That's also very important, as well as a trip line. And this is probably the most important part of the entire sea anchor right here. What this trip line does is it trips it. It pulls the sea anchor from the back. And now as I pull this, as you can see, it's bringing in that sea anchor right from the back. Look at that, it just collapsed it. Very, very easy to bring right aboard. You need that trip line because it's nearly impossible to pull in that full sea anchor, that full parachute filled with water is very, very challenging. So you need that trip line. Why do we fish these sea anchors? Why do we use them? A couple of different reasons. Number one, it slows down our drift, and that's really, really important. If we know that the bulk of the action is taking place between 100 and 200 feet, we're gonna deploy that sea anchor and it's gonna slow our drift. It's gonna allow us to fish that avenue, that strike zone methodically and intentionally, and really be able to take advantage of anything in that strike zone. So slowing us down certainly is very, very important. Number two, and equally as important, it'll hold our boat parallel to the sea conditions. The wind is right in my face here. If we didn't have the sea anchor out, the boat may not be behaving the way you would like it to. You may end up with lines that are in a tangle. Here we can fish 4, 6, 8, sometimes even more lines right down the side of the boat. This is a 37 strike, a big walk around, but regardless of what boat you're fishing, or if it's a center console, you've got the ability to fish a lot of baits, but you want to make sure that that presentation is really, really spot on. That's what's important. And that sea anchor is going to allow you to do that. It'll allow you to get as many baits as you can out away from the boat without tangling, and you'll have a super, super presentation. If you're serious about live bait fishing, if you're serious about kite fishing, you absolutely need a sea anchor.
Pros Tip, brought to you by the Florida Keys and Key Largo. A world away, come as you are.